What's up, YouTube? Back at it again. Just watch how everything unfolds. You know, this is going to be a pretty interesting one here. Pick better or be better, right? Which one is it? Do you vet and court to the highest level? Or do you make sure yourself is together, you know, mentally, spiritually, financially, and let the woman come to you, right? Which one is it? It's got to be one or the other. Is it pick better or be better? That's, you know, where we're at, right? You can't, you got to pick one way that is good for you. Everybody picking, I believe picking is impossible and highly improbable. Because, right, anybody can be nice in the beginning and be mean in the end, right? So picking, that's really has nothing to do with you. But be better, being better, that has everything to do with you. You know how to handle conflict resolution, how to, you know, be respectful, consistent, communicator, all those things, right, that you can, you know, accomplish within yourself. Those things are, to me, very valuable.
Points. And
what the hell?
Is only the views, opinions.
All the comments would be fatty McFat, fat, fatty, 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 fat, fat. Oh, look how fat he is, right? Look at that fatty. You know, haha, big fun, stupid fatty. I bet he can't go up the stairs. And
integrity of the conversation. If you're on the panel, it means you know something. And if you know something, you have to be able to back up what you know. So when asked, please answer, because when you ask, it will be required that your question is answered as well too. No one will force you to follow these expectations, but if you can, and please ask family, man, what's going on, man? So happy for everybody coming in here. We welcome you to another Untouchable Super Panel. Me and Fatty are the host. And we hope we have another great showing today. We got some beautiful, amazing people up here, and we truly and genuinely mean that, even if some of y'all are ugly to some people. We got my brother 2K. My 2K always dropping it, man. Hey, 2K, they scared of y'all here. We already know my brother Fugazi causing problems in this space too. And my Captain Tazariak. It's a legend, a GOAT in the building, man. Just you being on the panel is crazy to me. I don't know if y'all familiar with Captain Tazariak, but he's been doing this for a lot of years, man. He's always pushing great information and great content for the people. We got my sister Jada coming up here as well too. Black Guru making a lot of noise in the space. They coming for you too as well, man. We got to protect the brother. Pretty intellectual on the TikTok side, trying to do some damage. My brother, man, I apologize earlier for what happened, man. Another spectacular brother, man. People's talking about you in the spaces all the time. And Cali, one of the new rookies and MVPs in the space, trying to make some noise as well, too. So I appreciate everybody coming through here. First, I want to say let's respect one another no matter how much we disagree. Let's not interrupt. Let people land. And please answer each other's questions. If you don't answer the question, we will ask you to answer the question. Hold up the integrity of the conversation. If you're on the panel, it means you know something, and if you know something, you have to be able to back up what you know. So when asked, please answer, because when you ask, it will be required that your question is answered as well too. No one will force you to follow these expectations, but if you continue to refuse, it would just be pointed out in turn, and your turn will be given up respectfully to the next panelist. One thing I want to point out: this isn't going to be a religious war and about who's religious or who's atheist or whose God is better. This conversation is focusing on if believing in God is valuable and getting people substantial results. So if you believe in Zeus, today isn't the day to tell the world you got 3 days to repent or you about to get electrocuted. But before we start, we asking the mods to lock up all the if you would like to be on the panel, man. Of this icebreaker is just because she got married doesn't make her a wife, but the caveat about it is does the man get blamed for picking her as a wife too? And we can start at 2K and come on.
Because you're not a wife, but I don't even blame.
You got it?
Yeah, I'm talking about the question.
So just because she got married doesn't.
Anything before I start the show?
Yeah, you can message us both on Instagram, and Fatty got Instagram. I got Instagram as well too. Any great brothers and sisters who would like to join the panelists, man, just contact us, man. We'll bring you up here.
And once again, friends, I appreciate y'all for being here. The links of every content creator is going to be dropped during the show, so please show them the untouchable way and go ahead and follow all of them. The links are going to be tagged on the description too, so you can go ahead and follow them. Finally, if you are going to review the video, you have all the right to do so. No strikes, no nothing. This is yours. Just go ahead and do it. Just please either tag us on.
And then we'll move down. What you think, my brother?
So just repeat it one more time so I make sure I got the full context.
Just because she got married.
Mhm.
I got you. Let me play the video again, Ali.
Women that are not their wife.
wow.
They go in my comments. Look, but I'm married, but you're not a wife. You can stand in the garage all day long. It won't make you a car.
Boom.
You're not a wife. You have a loveless, fruitless marriage because you're not a wife. But I don't even blame her. I blame him
He shouldn't
because
marry
he
her.
is the one that dropped on one knee, right?
Mm.
You got it?
Yeah, I'm talking about the question.
So just because she got married doesn't make her a wife. Do you believe in that or not? And then is the brother problematic as well for marrying her?
Yeah, just because you got married don't make you a wife. It just means that you married. Okay, it's in that your role in that relationship, it's special duties that your husband, because that's the only person that can really complain about your wife rating. If I had to make up a word, so let's say your husband required you to clean, take care of the kids, and cook. Well, he's the only person that's there to determine your wife rating. So that's the only person that can say, are you being a good wife or not? Not really the people that's looking from the outside in. So for the most part, you really, the being a wife really depending on, are you following the leadership of your man?
Yes, sir. And the last part though, do you think the man is to blame if he picked her as a wife if she doesn't cooperate?
Absolutely not. Women are great interviewers. Okay, so when they getting with you, they tell you the best possible answer. Now I know what they gonna tell you. I see him shaking his head. You know, you need to vet more correctly, and you know you need to. Bro, we don't be like. First of all, people change. Women change like the seasons, and you just don't know what you got. Sometimes it's really the luck of the draw.
And before I go to the next person, my brother Six, if you want to respond first, brother, I have no problem with that responding, my brother. What's your take on it? And then we'll go right to Cooley.
Well, I'll keep it succinct. I'll keep it succinct. So when you become a master redistributor of blame, it usually leads to a life of nothingness. As a man, anything that is in our life, we put it there via thought and behavior. You first must understand that. As a man, anything in our life or not in our life, we put it there through our thought and our behavior. This woman that you decided to drop on one knee and give a promotion to, because marriage was a promotion. First you start talking, and then you go from we just talking, to we exclusive, that's a promotion. To we engaged, that's a promotion. Now we married, that's a promotion. You gave her a promotion. You did. You asked her. So you have to understand that you're culpable for the calamity, chaos, and confusion in your own relationship. And I'll pin it right there. We can circle back. But it's always going to be your fault. And as a man, you should want everything to be in your control. You should want to be behind the steering wheel. But when you can do this, it's her fault. His fault. It's mama's fault. She changed. you become a master redistributor of blame, and it's going to lead to a life of nothingness. You'll have a banal.
Now that is foolish. That's foolish, right? We are all adults in these party, right, of marriage in this thing. We are both very competent in knowing our roles and whether we know we're causing trouble or not, right? So if I'm a husband and I get to yelling, and after we get married, I get to disrespecting, that's not on my wife. And if my wife in turn starts doing that, that's on her. That's on her. I'm not held responsible for that. If she breaks the code and starts going in on me and, or start trying to combat with me or whatever, then, that's on her. I have to look at her and judge her accordingly. And hopefully we can conflict resolution this thing so that we can continue a healthy and formidable marriage. But the only way any great marriage is going to work is we got to be able to hold each other to some degree of standard. It ain't just she start messing up. Oh, it's on me. Oh, and she calls me a bitch ass nigga. Oh, I'm just culpable for that. I shouldn't have been a bitch ass nigga, right? That
Mediocre, unsuccessful, nothing great about your life because you can redistribute blame.
Somebody went and got real loud.
Okay, the air conditioning is on 1,000. That's crazy.
I got Central Hurricane. I got Central Air. That ain't me.
Who has that?
I don't know who that is, but yeah, just because you can, you say who's to blame and who's taking accountability are two different things. Okay, I can blame her, but I can take accountability for the choice that I made. All right, so listen, if she wasn't what she, that's not me.
Who unmuted right now? That's crazy. Let me see. Don't Cooley, you doing that to us?
Cooley, that's you, Cooley.
Cooley,
Is it me? Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's me or not.
No, you're good now. You're good.
He got it on AC mode.
You're good now. You're good.
So yeah, listen, but if she deceived me, although I might have promoted her, the accountability I would take 100% accountability for it. But the blame can go for her for false advertisement and not being who she said that she was. You
on mute. 6.
Yeah, I'm muting and I'm muting because of that. I apologize.
Okay. If you were deceived, let me just ask a question. Does that mean that you should become more astute? As a man, shouldn't you work on your astuteness if you can be deceived by a woman? That's just a question. Should you work on your astuteness if a woman that you're laying down with and know intimately can deceive you?
Oh, okay. For fair grounds of the conversation, I feel like you should use words that we all know. So if you know,
It's stupid. It's stupid.
you know the word.
Your ability to read a room or read a person, your sharpness, your acuity.
Thank you, Ron.
Your acuity. Should you work on your acuity, your sharpness, your ability to read a room and read people without them having to use words, if you were able to be deceived by the very woman you are intimate with and lie down with, how can you go do a business deal with someone that you see twice a week if you can be deceived with the very woman that you should know intimately? So my question is, and I'll be succinct, should you indict yourself and say, I need to work on my astuteness?
Absolutely.
Thank you.
That's a great phenomenal answer. But I'm gonna ask you 6, and we go straight to no fugazi. There's brothers who lie for intercourse from sisters and can pretend to be somebody they're not, correct? To get the box. As soon as they get the box, they missing. I don't think we blame the sisters for the brothers lying to them. And I know what you might come back with, right? And I'm saying deliberately lying, like you set up a whole premise, like I'm meeting your family, I'm meeting your friends. I even got with you and started a relationship. As soon as I got the box, I'm out the door. If the woman does give you full cooperation, you met her family, you met her friends, and then she switched up on you and no longer cooperates, is it the man's fault?
That's a little nuance, and again, I'll try to be succinct.
Okay.
One, especially when it comes to women, I tell her this all the time. The lie only works when you want to be lied to.
Oh, what?
As sharp as women claim they are and their intuition, the lie only works when you want to be lied to.
Okay.
I'm
A man that can successfully lie to you, that means that you want it to be lied to. You wanted to believe the fantasy. So we can start there. So a woman can say, well, he tricked me. I thought you had divine femininity. So you believe the lie because you wanted to believe the lie. Now, as far as a woman switching up, I personally believe that a man should not marry a woman until he has seen her 4 seasons. How she acts when she has everything, how she acts when she has nothing, how she acts when she's sad, and how she acts when he fucks up. Excuse my language if I can say that.
Okay, so last question. I would hate to believe you the last intelligent man walking on this earth, right? I would think there's other intelligent brothers, right? Did that mean that Tyrese, Michael B. Jordan, Tom Brady, Johnny Depp, all these brothers that seem like they might have some type of insight and intelligence about them all chose to believe a lie?
Yes, they all chose to believe a lie, and I think a lot of that, and I can only surmise, but a lot of that was ego-driven. A lot of that is ego-driven.
Chose to believe a lot of shit. You shouldn't get married. If you're gonna say that a person, that's foolish. You're gonna tell me I knew she was lying about who she was and I married her anyway? I wouldn't have married her. I would just kept, if she was a bad bitch, I would just kept smashing and dashing and run her away and replace her the next day. I'm not gonna, ain't nobody signing up to get deceived. Oh, well, let me get with this woman who I'm gonna marry, put a ring on it, and pay for this wedding, and have kids. And nobody's saying, oh, well, I know she lying. I know she don't love me. I know she ain't the woman she says she is. I'm gonna marry her anyway, right? Especially, the top guys. No, get the fuck out of here. This is not realistic in a little bit. Nobody signs up, especially, we're talking about Tom Brady. That ring was about 100K plus. That wedding ring 100K plus. The wedding, 3-4 million. Easy. Now I'm being nice. 3-4 million, right? So when one want to sit here and say, oh, well, if one deceives you, you chose to believe the lie and you married her anyway, how would you make that assessment? How could you know this? How do you know what's going on in my mind? You ain't God. So you're making an assessment about another man's thoughts why he married a woman and don't really know the truth. So this is a projection. This is unlearned. And this gentleman is very imprecise in his assessment.
When you choose a man that feeds your manhood and not a man that strokes your ego. If you go after a woman that strokes your ego, at some point she gonna want PTO, paid time off.
Okay. Last question. I swear to God, Cooley, I'm going next to you too. Have you ever been lied to?
He was a stoop. You can't.
Hold on, 2K. Hold on. My brother 6. Have you ever been lied to?
Absolutely, I've been lied to.
Did you know it was going to be a lie before it became a lie?
As a young man, I believe I did, but I gambled against my intuition. As an older man, or older, I don't gamble against my intuition anymore. But as a young man, I wanted to believe the lie. My intuition told me this is not right, but I wanted to believe it, so I chose to believe it. But as we grow older, we're supposed to grow wiser, and we have data. So I have enough life data to make better decisions now to mitigate some of these mendacious women.
But do you think all the brothers and sisters on here can prevent from being lied to?
No, I don't think they can prevent from being lied to because we can't control other people, but we can prevent and mitigate falling victim to a lie.
True. I agree with you 100%, my brother. But I think if someone invests in what they believe is the truth, I believe people can continue to get lied to if they invest in something that they believe is the truth.
Absolutely. You can get lied to because you can't control what comes out of someone else's mouth, but you can prevent falling victim to the lies. You can tell me a lie right now, don't mean I believe it.
True. But I can set you up for a lie. I can make you believe in something, a whole background, a whole life that I'm not really about, and I get you to commit to that, and then eventually lie to you, and
No,
I
you
switch up
can't.
on you.
No, you can't, because one, when you tell one lie, you got to keep telling lies, and a lie don't care who tell it.
Right. Okay.
I'm good.
Oh, let him go. Let him go. Because we'll go back and forth. It's a lot of great minds on the panel today. What you think, my brother Cooler?
Is my audio good?
Yes,
Yes, sir.
Okay, it's not that windy or eerie sound,
Nah,
right?
you ain't got no hurricanes and
Okay,
tornadoes.
Cool. All right. So the topic of discussion is, if you're married, you can be married, but you're not a wife. So I think this insinuates that a woman can be married, but she's not doing her marriage duties. Do I have this correct?
Yeah, do you want me to play the video for you again, Cool?
No, I mean,
Yeah,
I've
that's
watched
pretty
it
much the
twice,
gist
but
of
I
it.
think that's pretty much the gist of it.
Yes, because the video is like 10 seconds, like 15 seconds.
And are married
That's
to
pretty
women
much
that
the
are
gist.
not their wife.
wow.
They go in my comments. Look, but I'm married, but you're not a wife. You can stand in the garage all day long. It won't make you a car.
Boom.
You're not a wife. You have a loveless, fruitless marriage because you're not a wife. But I don't even blame her. I blame him
You shouldn't have
because
married
he
her.
is the one that dropped on one knee, right?
Yeah, I agree with what he said, and that's the dude at the bottom that was just speaking, right?
Yes, absolutely. 6.
Six.
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 Oh,
You don't wanna-
6?
Yeah, 6.
Yeah, I agree with 6. Essentially what he's saying too is, a woman is married, but she's not acting out her wifely duties. In modernity, a lot of women tend to act like this is because they come from single mother households. They don't really know how to act around a man because they wasn't raised with a man. So with that being said, they get into a relationship and they don't know how to accept the man's love and truly follow that man's lead. So yeah, this tends to happen. To the last part he said into the discussion that you guys was having, I do agree with 6 again. Now, it's okay to take accountability. I think that's what 6 is speaking about. Men need to take accountability for their actions, just like we get on women and we say that women need to take accountability for choosing the wrong man or choosing a man that hit them or choosing a man that did X, Y, Z. No one is saying that we can't fall susceptible to a lie. No, everyone falls susceptible to a lie every now and then. That isn't the point. The point is taking accountability even though you fell short. So I'll land my plane there.
And so you believe the man is to blame too as well if you put a ring on a finger.
For
of a
sure.
woman?
Now there's a degree of accountability that the man needs to take, like for ourselves. You don't want to become a victim. The only way you become a victim is if you do not take accountability. So with that being said, you need to take accountability for yourself. That doesn't mean that the woman wasn't wrong. You get what I'm saying? Or if the man is in a relationship that does something bad to the woman, that doesn't mean that that man wasn't wrong either. But at the end of the day, we are human beings of agency. So with agency comes responsibility, which comes a degree of authority, which also comes accountability. So you need to take accountability for even if you choose the wrong person, because that's the only way you can get over it. That's the only way you can truly move forward. If you do not take accountability, you're not truly moving forward. So, yeah.
You shouldn't take accountability for shit that you can control. If I was an alcoholic before our relationship and 5 years in, because I'm frustrated at work and my mama died and all that, I start to actually drinking, I shouldn't be accountable. That's actually bad for you. It's not healthy. If you get with the woman and she was showing patterns of bad behavior and you ignore them, it's your fault. But if you marry this woman and on year 6, because she's going through something, she starts denying you sex because she's not into it like that, she goes to menopause, whatever it is, you can control this. We are going to change every 5 years. We're not going to be the same person that we actually met when we were dealing with each other. So I agree about accountability, because you only grow with accountability. You blaming yourself for shit you can control or for shit that other people did to you, this is going to be damaging to your psyche because you're gaslighting yourself and taking accountability as a man. Ooh, ha, ha. But it didn't change. That woman decided that she didn't want to fuck you anymore.
You're taking accountability for the wrongdoings of the other people. No, that's not called taking accountability. You're taking accountability because you were susceptible and you fell short with making the wrong choice. Everyone makes wrong choices. So I think that's where you take accountability at.
Right.
So you take accountability on the choices that you made.
So flip it. I meet Kelly. I know what she wants. I will sell her a dream. Hey, Kelly, I'm moving you to LA. You're going to be the mother of my kids. All green flags, everything nice for 3 years. And then as soon as I get what I want, I kick her in the ass and I says, hey, go back to whatever you came from.
Yeah.
I don't want to take care of
I
you.
get women on my panel all the time that come on that they literally have similar stories that, well, I met a man, he was selling me a dream. It's like, okay. So think about this, right? How can we also, the world doesn't owe us understanding. It's up to us to be perspicacious enough, which means be aware to understand the world. Now, we may fall short. There may be blind sides to things, right? But that
taking accountability for someone else's actions is stupid. Taking accountability because I picked someone who I thought, after a fair assessment, after, vetting and all those things, and also paying for all those dates. You're telling me that I should be mad at myself because of another human forking in the deal? I don't think so, right? I'm not going to take accountability if... Okay, I will say that. Let me take that back. I won't take accountability if she was in agreement with me and she accepted the ring and she accepted the commitment. That's on her, right? When she saw that ring come out, and then when that pastor or priest or whoever quoted all those, things of commitment, and she didn't turn around and say, to me and say, no, I'm not up for this, then, that falls on her. I'm going to be hurt probably in the long run. I'm going to feel this type of way, but I'm not going to commit suicide or nothing. It's going to be like, oh, it is what it is. It is what it is. But to be honest, I'd rather it happen early in the marriage than later. Because that means I have to give her less if she divorces. If she changes after a year, I ain't got to really give her nothing. Keep it pushing. Take the little couple bands, whatever. But you do it year 10, boy, that can get costly.
It doesn't mean that we shouldn't take accountability for making the wrong choices, right?
Absolutely. But if I did it wrong, she doesn't have to take accountability. It's bad for her. She has to say,
what I'm saying is how else? Well, here's the question that I'm going to pose to you then, Fatty, and anyone else on the panel that disagrees.
Absolutely.
How else can you truly move on? And how else can you truly move on if you do not take accountability?
You have to forgive yourself. You have to say,
how do you forgive?
Let me finish.
If you don't take accountability.
No. Because once again, I can take accountability for being on a crossroads and a trucker just run over me. That's not my fault. I was on the sidewalk. I'll look at both sides. Each motherfucker just ran me through. I have to forgive myself. I have to say, you know what? I was in the wrong place at the wrong time. Next time, I'm going to look extra to see if I don't
what
get
you are explaining is accountability. You're actually explaining accountability.
No, he's not, because accountability.
Yeah, you are.
Accountability means that you actually taking responsibility for something that you did. Me bamboozling a woman for years in a row.
You just said something you did, the choices that you made. You just explained accountability. That's something that you did.
Coolly, let him land, and then you go.
Okay, I'm sorry. Yeah, go ahead.
And he's not going to interrupt.
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
And it's fine. Accountability is responsibility. You shouldn't take responsibility for something that people did to you, especially if it's wrong, Coolly. I'm sorry. Like, you meet a woman, you treat her right for 10 years. One day she meets a coworker and she flips on you and she decides to divorce you. She has to take accountability, not you. You picked her. She was a different person. You are dating. You are marrying. You are on the same bed with a person that you don't recognize. You don't have to be a mind reader. Only Trunks from the future knows exactly what's going on in 10 years. If you're not Trunks from the future, respectfully, you have to forgive yourself and says, you know what? I picked bad. It's not
Right.
accountability, but I have to forgive myself and move along. And next time I'll be a little bit more sharper. I
And
think
we'd have to all end our podcast respectfully, because if you really think about this, anybody who's in a relationship or married right now, you're your woman's last man. You'd have to prove to everyone that you're not cooperating with her and that she's actually cooperating with you. Because if she didn't cooperate with all the men that she was with previously, it would mean that either she switched up for you or now you're cooperating with her. So we have to, I get the two arguments. It's one thing to take accountability for what happened and to improve yourself and to be able to vet better and look for better signs. But we can't take accountability for the wrong things that's happening to people, because otherwise we just have to all end our shows and say, hey, we need to be better men. We need to vet better and be better leaders. Everybody would have to end their podcast.
Yeah, correct. And that's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying that you should.
And that's facts, right? Pick better or be better, right? So if it was all on, well, you know, I just got to be better, and then shit, you won't, what to have the conversation about? If it's all on you, if you're taking all the accountability for a thing that happened in your life, people doing you wrong, then shit, ain't nothing wrong with them. It's everything to do with you. Now, if you're that gullible, right, to say, oh, well, she cheated on me because I didn't take all preventative measures, right? And the reason why she cheated on you was everything to do with her and nothing to do with you. Then, you know, and you just say to yourself, oh, well, I just got to be better. Then you're going to be getting hurt a lot. You're going to be a punching bag. You're going to be a punching bag. Nobody wants to be a punching bag. But if you're sitting here taking accountability for other people's actions, you will become a human punching bag. Facts.
You shouldn't take accountability for other people's actions. Once again, I'm putting it on. You should take accountability for your own choices. So that's for yourself. So yeah.
Can
I like
say
the
something?
I like the Trunks analogy. I'm a Dragon Ball Z fan too, Fatty.
Yes, Callie, and then Captain Tazariak, because I
I'll
know
be
how to say your
quick.
name right.
I'll be quick. I try to keep it short. But I think to answer Cooley's point, he said, "What's another way to move on or to heal from something when you don't take accountability?" And one thing that came to my mind was acceptance. Sometimes, especially if it wasn't within something that you did personally, you can also accept what had happened and choose to move on and choose to be better. Thus, going into what Fugazi said, but then also piggybacking off of what Fatty said as well. So I think acceptance is a big thing, to just realize this happened to me, but I'm not going to fall victim to it. And I'm going to move on. I'm going to learn for what I could do and how I could be better, how I could choose better, whatever the case may be. Or, hey, look, he did this to me. I feel like I didn't do anything wrong. I'm just going to let this shit happen and move the fuck on.
So it's semantics a little bit. I think that, and semantics is important sometimes, because I think that the first step to taking accountability is acceptance. So it's like the rabbit hole gets much deeper. We can break things down, but I don't disagree with what you're saying. I think that it's a game of semantics sometimes, or we could hash it out. But yeah, I'll land my plane there.
Well, see, y'all really saying what I said at first. I like let's go back to the analogy. Fatty said he was on the road and then he got hit by a car. The accountability is, hey, I'm on this road. The person to blame is the driver for hitting you with the car. That's what I was saying. I can blame her, but I can be accountable for the situation.
Yes, because we keep doing that to brothers. We're not going to do that to sisters. If a man put his hands on you, if a man lied and cheated on you, if the man don't want to be a father, if you don't want to take care of his household and you truly cooperating, that man needs to take accountability for neglecting his family, not taking care of his responsibilities, for lying, for cheating. So if men are encountering the same things in our communities, we have to stop taking accountability for the wrong that's happening to us and be able to hold the sisters accountable so we can work on them cooperating, or vice versa if we telling men to be better leaders. My brother, Captain Tazariak, man, what take you going on this, my brother?
I appreciate y'all having me on the panel. Relationships are, no problem. Relationships are not a monolith. I'll start there. And when I listen to the content, the fact that he said he got on a knee, if you didn't think about what you put your rod into before you put a knee on, that represents the bigger problem. Because when most people getting together, they're not thinking about, when that man is getting with this woman, single woman, no father, whatever, it's all about the hustle to getting her draws. Nobody is thinking this is wife material. I rarely hear, when I first met her, I thought this was my wife. Because when you think this is my wife, having sex with her is the last thing. What's more important is she a good mother? What's her background? If she grew up with that single father, if she grew up without a mother, if she was molested, if she was touched. If we pay more attention to those things before we thought with our vagina and thought with our penis, getting on your knee is irrelevant. Because whether you got on your knee or not, you know the first time that you're intimate with this woman, this is a woman that I know if I have a child with her, she's going to take care of the child. I know if I go through hell with her, if I go through financial situations, all of those things are supposed to take place before you even have the sex. She's supposed to be a wife. She's supposed to be wife material before you ever have sex with her. He's supposed to.
Now, once again, right, this is the delusion. How the fuck do you know if a person is putting their best representative first or not? What do you mean she needs to be wife material before you have sex with her? Beauty is an eye of the beholder. So, of course, if she look good, smell good, and talking good, you know, for at least the first year, she's going to be wife material, especially if y'all get along, right? If you guys are compatible, you're not arguing, you guys are consistent. Listen, if it gets to marriage, most of the time or not, most likely these two have a lot of time in together. Average person, if they do actually or get married, average people, they're 3 to 5 years together before, sometimes 8 years before. It's very rare nowadays that people get married 6 months to a year in. Those days are long gone. Nobody's getting married in the first 6 months. If it is, it's 1 out of 1 billion. Oh, how you doing? Oh, we connect. Oh, let's get married. No. Everybody's going into, dating, right? They're doing a dance. Everybody's doing a dance. The dating. Then they get into boyfriend and girlfriend. And this typically lasts 3 to 5 years. Typically. There are some longer, but typically these things last 3 to 5 years before we get to the ring. So what do you mean she needs to be wife material? Right? She obviously 3 to 5 years. Now here's the thing about wife material. What do you mean wife material? Because he kind of contradicted himself, right? When he first came out, he said relationships are not a monolith, or marriages are not a monolith. So, in the way you do your vetting, you look at like, she needs to be wife material before I even stick my D in it. So most likely he's getting with a woman he's probably known or been friends with for 2 years or more, right? That he's been knowing and been watching and been kind of calculating, and they somehow hit it off. But once again, if we're not a monolith, most people are going to meet in different work environments, different networking things, different places and different stations. So, if I meet a girl and then we have a great 3-year run, we're most likely going to get married. But, just because I marry her don't mean she needs to be perfect in every way. She just needs to be tolerable, right? I just need to be able to, tolerate whatever her baggage is. But it's not that, a wife material, when we talk about wife material, homie, we talk about someone who we love and cherish. That is wife material.
To be husband material before you have sex with him. But in this society, she eventually becomes wife material. He eventually becomes husband material. That's the failure. And so you think I've been with this woman 3 years and now she barking on you about getting married. Even the marriage is not because y'all believe in marriage. The marriage is because I done been together 3 years. I done been together 5 years. This is the so-called process of
marriage is a gamble. It's a gamble, right? You're taking mitigated risks, and you're trying to pick the woman that's the most highly probable for y'all to make it. That's what it is. There is no one size fit all. So you can't say what you're saying is, well, you know, how do you know the 3 years? If everything's going good in 3 years, right? From your perspective, this is your wife. You're going to actually marry you. You're still gambling. Or you wait 10 years, still a gamble. I mean, look at Michelle Obama and Barack Obama, right? Over 20 years, and she still complains.
Of what's supposed to take place. So now the pressure is put on the man to get married. The pressure is on the woman to get married. When nobody thinks before I have sex with this woman, do I want to marry her? That's the paradigm that I come from. Where I come from, I will not lay with a woman if I don't want to stay with her for the rest of my life. So I'm talking to her like it's forever the moment I decide to court this woman. Where in most societies, we trying to have sex first, see what that booty look like, see what that hair look like, see what type of money I can get. If I can get all of that, then okay, now she wife material. Whereas it's
nigga, please. We all are under the same code, right? You be with a woman. What does you mean? Every time you sleep with her, you want it to be forever. Nigga, if someone, hey, what's up? Go ahead, yes. If you meet someone and you digging them, right? You digging them more than other women that you come in contact with, right? It's, you know, you're going to feel like, okay, this could potentially be my wife. It's still a gamble. Ain't no guarantee. You just have feelings and you guys get along. You can't project the outcome in the beginning. All you can do is try and build step by step, piece by piece, from the time you meet her to the time you marry her. That's the process. There is no one size fit all for this situation. Some romances happen one way, other romances happen another, right? Some people meet, they might go up and off and on for 5 years, right? Or they might be off and on for 2 years. Or some people might be childhood friends and then see each other 6 years later and then hook up and get married. So it's not no one size fit all to this equation when it comes to marriage. Marriage is something a lot of times when you least suspect it, because it is a very difficult process to love someone and to share all your resources with someone and go across that threshold and put up a lot of risk to deal with this person is a very honorable thing. Very honorable thing.
Supposed to be reversed. And then what men don't realize is that you're putting a greater damage. When we talk about women that grow up with single fathers, most men manipulate that woman. Most men predatorize that woman. They're looking for that woman that don't have a father in their life, because women are naive by default, damn near. That's why we put such emphasis on the father needs to raise that daughter, because we know how easily a man can trick her, because we're men. So we know the game that we have within ourselves. And so we want.
So now he's acting like a woman can't trick a man. See, he quickly turned it from the whole premise of the show is just because a woman gets married don't mean she's a wife, right? But now he's turned it to, well, a woman can trick a man. A man can trick a woman, right? He switched it all the way up because he's delusional.
Want to make sure our daughters don't have that type of game. And at the same time, that's the woman that we look for. And then when we get with that woman, and here's the crazy part, when that woman believes your lie, that's why you hate her. You'll hate her, or you'll put on a back burner, or you'll treat her like the hoe, or you won't marry her because you know that she believed the lies that you told her. So if we're talking about getting on one knee, that dude in that video represents the failure, because it shouldn't about be getting on one knee. It should be about, before I give her this D, Is she
But-
wife material?
But I gotta hold on real quick, Six. Captain Tazaria, if that's the case, do you think it's easier for a brother to get a woman to fix a sandwich and be a wife, or do you think it's easier to get a woman in the bedroom?
And today in 2025, it's easy
Yes,
to
sir.
get it in the bedroom.
So
But
then
you know
how?
who-
But how can a brother? So how are most brothers tricking women in the bedroom if they can't trick her to be a wife or make a sandwich?
Because, and here's what I know from experience, and this is the power that men have, because it's your fault that you get in the bedroom, because that's your goal. If your goal is to get her to make the sandwich, then no matter how much lust she has for you, get her to make the damn sandwich first.
Can I,
You in
can I,
control.
Go ahead, my brother Six.
Captain T, let me ask you a question. Are you married?
Yeah. Now it's different for me. I have a lot of wives.
Oh,
Okay.
He over.
How many wives do you have?
Well, the internet says I have 42.
I'm asking you. I'm not asking the
freak ass nigga.
Captain T. I'm not asking the internet. I'm not asking the internet.
I knew that it was a reason why it's so hard for us out here. You got them all, but go ahead, Cap.
Yeah,
I'm not asking the internet, Captain T. I'm asking you.
Okay, so the reason why I don't say is because that's how I protect my women. So
Okay,
I'm
well
not
let
gonna
me
tell
ask you this. How long is your longest marriage? How long
26.
the longest?
It'll be 26 years, June 8th.
And before you married or before you guys had sex?
No, back then I didn't have that concept that I have today. Back then, so I met her in June. So really, it'll be 25 years. So I met her in January. We started dating in February of 2000. By June 8th of 2000, we was married.
Well, let me say this, because we're gonna have to divide this up based on, because I understand that you're giving an opinion based on your POV where you sit at. But most men are not gonna have 3-4 wives. Now, me myself,
That opinion wasn't based on 3-4 wives. That opinion is based on.
Let me speak. Let me speak.
Just don't paint a narrative. That's all.
Okay, let me speak, and then you can rebuttal. I'll let you speak. You can rebuttal.
Yeah, let each other land the plane.
I'm about to. I haven't even gotten into the minutia yet.
You go ahead, Six. You got it. And then Cap, you got it right back.
Yeah. I've had a beautiful union with my wife for 19 years when we've cohabitated for 18 of those years. One woman. When there's one woman emotionally connected, one woman with the house responsibilities, one woman with sexual responsibilities, the texture of the relationship is different when you get to divide those amongst 3 different women, Captain T. So respectfully, your view, not only did you not meet you met your first wife 26 years ago, which is over 2.5 decades ago. The world has changed since then. But your relationship doesn't even reflect the most ubiquitous relationship, which is monogamy. So your view is skewed respectfully. Because again, your wives get to share the responsibility. So we're speaking from a person with one wife and one mission and one goal. So although you might be correct in the space that you live in, you're grossly incorrect in the space of one-on-one becoming one. Grossly incorrect, because you have no evidence that you have been able to do that successfully. See, me and my wife started from nothing. Now we have much. Again, we've been together 19 years and have cohabitated 18 of those years. It takes skill to be together this long. And we're happy, we're healthy, and we're fruitful. One-on-one, which made one. So again, respectfully, your POV is connected to your lifestyle. And if I wanted to live that lifestyle, I would lean into your teachings and allow you to impart knowledge on me, because clearly you're knowledgeable. But when it comes to one-on-one relationships, again, which is the most ubiquitous type of relationship.
Well, I have to disagree respectfully, right? Because whether it's 1 or 3, the foundation is the same, right? So I do agree with, even though I don't agree with his projection, but I do agree with his foundation. If he has 3 wives, 10 wives, 100 wives, 1 wife, it's the same. His way he bets and courts his women is the same strategy, right? So yeah, I can agree that a man can have as many wives and his strategy be the same with each wife, right? So if a person has 1 wife, okay, right? But if he has another wife or 2 wives, then it's going to be the same, right? Because he's going to treat, or I would guess, vet them the same, right? Because this is how the style goes.
In modern day times, you are grossly out of touch, and I fundamentally disagree with you. Do not wait to get married to have sex, because again, in a one-on-one relationship, y'all supposed to be together forever. I'm gonna find out if I like that thing right now. I'm not gonna wait. I'm gonna find out if I like that right now. And again, I'll land the plane real quick. You're supposed to understand the 4 seasons of a woman before you get married to her. How she is when she have everything, how she is when she has nothing, how she is when she unhappy, and what she'll do when you make the biggest mistake of your life. When you gather that data, if it's to your liking, that's when you propose. And this is, again, my POV from a one-on-one situation. That is a happy, healthy, fruitful relationship. We're not 2 people that got together and living a mediocre life. It's easy for 2 people to get together and be mediocre. We're 2 people thriving. And if you're going to thrive, it takes skill. If communication is key, agreement is the door. And I'll leave it there.
You got it, my brother, Captain Tazariak.
Yeah,
Uninterrupted.
Yeah, I don't know what the hell you was talking about right now, because I wasn't talking about your personal relationship nor mine. And all that information that you need to find out before you get married, you can find out before you have sex with her. That's what I was talking about.
Right, but we're not going to do that. We don't need to do that to have sex.
Hold up, six.
Dude, rest in your. I'm gonna go left in a second. That's shout out to my brother Cooley. He knows. So anyway, what I'm talking about is having dick control. That's what I'm talking about. Vagina control. That's what I'm talking about. That has nothing to do with whether you got one wife. The paradigm, the conversation that we're talking about is not about people that are monogamous, polygamous, whatever you want to call it. Relationships, we know, are based on having sex first, figuring it out later. That's what I'm talking about. And what I'm saying is, before you stick your penis in that woman's vagina, to have some form of control to know if she's wife material from the gate. Why do you have to have sex with this woman if you're going to stay with her forever? It doesn't matter if you have sex with her now.
I don't agree with this premise. I don't think just because you have sex with someone don't mean you have to marry him. I mean, you can have sex, and every time you meet a woman, you don't have to think of her as a wife, right? She might just think she's attractive. Hey, what's up? I don't know who this is. Balanced Relationship, that M3 or Best. I don't know who. What's good? Welcome to the show. Thanks. Hit the like button, please, if you stay for a little bit. But welcome. You're always welcome on my platform. If you want to pull up, you can pull up. I'm just here going over, this little thing you see. Okay, M3. Okay, yeah. Okay, M3, my boy. These M3 is we're a little bit Best boy. Yeah, but anyway, yeah. To be in a marriage, or how you get to a marriage, it varies, man. Everybody has, like I said, this is not a one size fits all. Everybody don't vet and court the women the same way, right? And how you venture love, what type of woman you want, what type of things you require or expect, or your expectations, or what type of background you want her to have. Each man may have a different, resume that she requires the woman to have, right? So we're not all going to be exactly the same on these type of situations, but we do, and we can come to one conclusion, that respect and admiration and communication, we all desire that connection with one, if she's the one that we're going to marry. But back to my original point, just because you have sex with someone doesn't mean she needs to be potentially your wife. I mean, sometimes we just want to have a great time, right? I mean, let's keep it real, right? This is why I don't like America, right? This is why I can't fucking stand this country. Nobody wants to say, hey, I just want to smash, right? You have to lie and deceive and trick people to get what you want, and then just keep it fucking real, right? Look, I just want to smash you. You got great sex. You got great this. I like you. I like spending time with you, but I don't know if I'm going to marry you. I don't know about all that. And sometimes it just comes down to that. Sometimes it comes down to, I just want to have a good time with you. Marriage is not the absolute. Is it desirable? Is it the desired outcome of your results? Yes, of course. If you fall for her, if you think if you guys are very compatible, but that comes with a lot of different nuances though. It ain't just sex. It's consistency over time. Do you guys align on a lot of things about that you guys can agree on and disagree on some things and agree on most? I say most of the time if you meet a woman and you're knowing her for a good year, let's say, you want to at least try to agree on 30%, 40%. I think that may be work. We might work with that. And then we just have to agree to disagree on everything else. When it comes to politics, when it comes to, maybe how you guys see life. But the ultimate goal is, do you respect each other? Do you adore each other? Are you guys in tune? That's what I think determines, or the determining factor, what can lead to marriage.
6 months from now or a year from now, you should make sure that she's qualified. The only thing that a man or woman can give to somebody else that is invaluable is your body. Money comes and goes, a car come and go, house come and go, but your body should be that holy that 10 niggas shouldn't be able to say, oh yeah, I hit Tanya. 10 women shouldn't be able to say, oh yeah, he hit me and just ran through. You should have more value. That's what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is the solving of that problem. I know it hurt. The solving of that problem is by having penis control, vagina control, knowing the do's and don'ts, all those things that you said you find out before you lay with them. I'm with you. The only part that I'm saying is don't sleep with that woman while you're finding out.
But
That's
what
all I'm saying.
And I agree with,
because you need to talk. You need to talk. Go ahead, brother. What you need to say? Come on, get it off your chest, brother.
I agree with most of what you said, but your argument hinges upon the fact that you believe that everybody. Your rebuttal hinges on the fact, since you want to get caught up in the minutia of words, your rebuttal hinges on the fact.
Hold on.
Your statement.
Hold on, six. Hold on. He didn't let's make sure we do the chain of events. You made it personal. He didn't make it personal.
Thank you.
He spoke about hold on, my brother. He spoke about his life. And then when you spoke about your life, you spoke as if you invalidated his life. He didn't make
it. If I could, brother, if I could to the moderator, one second. If I could to the moderator, I didn't speak about my life at all.
Right.
When I first spoke, I just spoke about I didn't speak about my wives at all. I just spoke about relationships and how we need to value sex. Excuse me, the relationship before the sex. Then this brother asked me about wives, and then that's when we got into my personal thing. But my initial statement was about the video and saying before you get on one knee, it should be about even having intimacy with that woman. That was my initial position. I never made it personal till this guy got offended.
Yes.
I didn't get offended. I'm gonna speak soft and swift.
He wouldn't speak about his wives because he said it would affect his personal situation. He didn't want it out there, right? But hold on real quick. But then you started speaking about how your being one-on-one you substantiate how one-on-one is more beneficial and takes skill. He wasn't comparing his situation to yours. You started comparing your situation to what he Yes, sir, of course.
I want to clarify, and again, we're live and it's recorded. I told you that I would lean into your teachings and allow you to impart knowledge on me, Captain T, if that was a lifestyle. Me asking you that question was not an indictment, but I believe, and we can go around a panel and I can get everybody's opinion. I believe whatever advice that you give should be attached to some type of success. What I do not like is ultra crepidarians. So any advice you give should be tethered to success. So if you're going to advise on sex and marriage, I want to know, okay, tell me your situation so I can see if it worked in real time. You cannot just give me advice without having something to back it up on. Your life It's the total sum of your decision making, and your life and lifestyle is proof of concept. So my only reason of asking that is so that you can prove your concept. And once you told me your situation, I was simply trying to draw a stark distinction between what's most ubiquitously sought after and what you had, because we have to separate the two. And again, I'll land right here. Your advice, whether it's financial, college, vocation, or relationship, should be anchored to success. Other than that, you are guilty of being an ultra crepidarian. So it was not an indictment. I said if I wanted that, I would lean into what you were saying.
Hold on, my brother. Hold on before anybody goes. Six, do you realize that everybody on this panel could be frauds? Like, we can't prove certain negatives. We can't prove what anybody on this panel is doing. All you can do is say what you do, and you can substantiate what you do or speak about what you do, but none of us can, unless we personally on each other's lives, can prove what anybody's doing on this panel. That's that's because look, if you say that, what you said is incredible then. Because how can you prove
because
it was a question. I didn't indict him, and I figured that we all have integrity. So I asked the question. If asking a question to see what kind of advice, where your advice is anchored to, if that is viewed as malignant or a no, I'm confused. Go ahead. Go ahead. No, go ahead.
One second. Let me just let me just do something before he goes. Right. I would agree with you on principle. Right. I would agree with you on principle.
Right. Me too.
But that will give strength to your argument. But just because I'm fatty and I'm obese, I can tell you the benefits of eating a salad. I can tell you that. I can tell you the benefits of going to the gym. I can tell you the benefits of living a good life. Mr. Miyagi wasn't the best fighter. He was the best teacher. The Costomado, whatever, the coach from Mike Tyson, he wasn't the best boxer. He was the best teacher. Floyd Mayweather Sr., he wasn't the best boxer. He was the best teacher. Like, just because I don't look like a bodybuilder doesn't mean that I can tell you and give you every instruction for you to optimize your genetic potential. So I will agree with you on principle 6. You being what you mean and mean what you say is going to give credence to what you preach, 100% absolutely. But just because you are not something, that doesn't mean that you actually can be in favor of something. I actually explain to you why a single person can say, you know what, the nuclear family, having 2 parents on the same household, is pretty good, even though I'm a bachelor and I'm just going out rather than do what I do. You see what I'm saying? So we can do both. We can do leading by example, and we can do 2. I did a mistake. I'm not living exactly how I should live, but I can point you out what you need to do to actually flourish and excel. You see what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah, so if I could,
go ahead, Captain.
If I could, nothing that I said was about my personal life. Me saying to think with your dick first before you get on your knee was not my personal life. So since this
do that anymore, there's a lot of stuff going on, online dating.
So let's talk about D-discipline. Niggas talk about D-discipline is stupid, right? D-discipline, that doesn't mean nothing. I know you might, some guys might be able to, take a little bit more time before they, I guess, have sex, and all this stuff. But for the most part, right, it's not a one size fit all. And we kind of stop projecting and start protecting. We black men, we don't protect each other. We project on each other. Let me say it again. Black men don't protect each other, they project on each other. And then all we do is end up arguing. And we get stuck in the rabbit hole for 20, 30 minutes trying to substantiate. Fuck that. Right? If you don't think a man is cool because he has 3 wives, who gives a fuck, right? You're not there to judge individual lives. You're there to have a conversation about the overall objective of the conversation. And that's the main goal and the main emphasis here. And sometimes a lot of brothers get personal, or they want to try to brag about their personal life and personal situations, which is fine, right? But when you're trying to put your personal situation and to put down another brother's situation and then ask the question, well, do you think it's better or be better? That's a whole, now you're projecting. And if you're projecting, you're not protecting. And what do you need to protect? The integrity of the conversation. The integrity of the conversation is what's important, not you trying to judge someone. Because, like Ali said, we don't know if your life is true. We don't know if you're getting in a sexless marriage. We don't know if you guys are happy. We can only take your word for it, right? We can only take your word for what your word is. But we truthfully, when we on these panels, we can't prove whether a lot of people are right or wrong, or they're lying about their lifestyles. We can't really prove it. We can only say, okay, to better the conversation, for the integrity of the conversation, move on and take it as a grain of salt. And that's what a lot of brothers don't understand, right? They want to argue every fucking point to prove a point when there's no need to argue about a point. Every point doesn't need to be argued.
Looking up and all this other stuff. So we're not looking at families anymore, especially in our culture. We're just going off of feelings. We're going off what we think is right and what we feel. That's disaster. That's danger. When it comes to the marriage rate right now, marriage rate is at an all-time low. So that means that if men are going to marry in this day and time, I would think that they have done enough due diligence to say that this woman is a good woman or she's a bad woman. And if he's deemed that she was decent enough to marry, right, then I would think that he also thought he was going to stay with her for the rest of his life and not give up hope or not think that she would change in 2 or 3 or 4 years. But we see so many weird things going on and things that men do that we need to take accountability for. And I'm always, listen, I get on women. My channel is pro men, first of all, but I get on women a lot, but I do hold men accountable in this sense. Men should recognize the women that they have decided to mate with and what kind of women they are. There's a reason why we can look at the highest professions of divorce and we can see these are tied to high risk occupations that women do. Bartenders and dancers are right there at the top. Why would a man marry a bartender or a dancer? What is he thinking with? Let's be real. What head is he thinking with if he's marrying a bartender or a dancer? He damn sure not marrying her for her integrity, her character, her religion, right? We know what he's marrying her for. But we have to just be honest with ourselves as men too, right? You liked what you liked. You saw what you saw. Maybe you felt threatened by the fact that she was going to go and be with another man, or you were so charmed or entertained by her beauty, you know, whatever.
Well, thank you guys for coming in. Like, share, and subscribe. You like what I have a goal, emergency, but we like what we like. We want what we want. Pick better or be better. It doesn't fucking matter. Wherever you love, you want to roll the dice, roll the dice. Roll the dice, man. Life is about gambles. And if you're scared to gamble, nigga, stay inside. Until next time.